My name's Kevin DeBruyn. I'm a social worker. I'm a healthcare entrepreneur. I work in healthcare, and I do some psychotherapy, some counseling as well. And I've been in the field of social work for over 20 years. I've been in my current role for the past 9 years. And I've been going to Sojourn for, I think a pandemic messed up all my sense of time. So it was before that. So I'm thinking like 4 or 5 years, I think is about what it's been. So God's been teaching me so much. Like through this work, I cannot emphasize enough how much, like the volume really has been so significant in terms of what he has taught me that it feels like I just get dumber by the day. It's like, there's so much that I just don't know, that's so far beyond my perspective, my ability to understand. When I talk to somebody and they tell me their story, and right, it's very clear that so many of those stories are just, when I started, it was like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. There is no way like that much stuff happened to one person. And bizarre. Some people's stories are just truly bizarre and amazing and tragic. That I really thought, like, there's got to be something else going on here. Like, what? But I keep running into that, where people come in and like, the idea that this many people are just making this story up to amaze me also seems like ludicrous, right? So I'm confronted with this idea of, like, so many people have such an experience of life that is so far removed from mine, that I know if I grew up in their position, my understanding of the world, of God, of right, of wrong, of everything would be fundamentally different in ways that it's just too far removed. I believe the minute we say, hey God, like, I don't get it, but I'm in. I take it, I believe. I don't know what I believe. I believe Jesus died. Somebody told me that, so I'm in. I'm right. The minute we say that, he's like, all right, you signed up for the deal. You're mine. And he starts a transformational process with us that is much slower than we would like. But it starts there, and it continues throughout our life. When my dad passed away, I very much feel that God had worked through my life to help get me to a point where his death wasn't unmooring for me, where it wasn't something that shook my worldview, right? And made me question everything, like, what's happening here? Like, how can... and instead it was something that I could just experience, and I could grieve deeply. And feel feel God's presence through that loss as well, in a way that I wouldn't have been able to before. On the one hand, I kind of want to say, like, was that God preparing me in my life for that? Maybe. Like, it feels like it. Would make sense in terms of how personal, right? That I think he is. And I can imagine, right, how some other people have been through some similar losses, and like, why didn't he prepare me for that? And I can't say. I don't have an answer for that. But if you look back, like, the one thing I know is God's probably been active. That's one thing I've found, right, in this, hearing people's stories, is like, if you've invited him in, he's active in your life, probably in ways different than what you think. probably in ways better than you can imagine, but he's there. It's not easy and it's not smooth, and that's okay, because God shows up not usually, I've found, in the easy and smooth, but in the hard and difficult.